Hello, friends. I am here to answer a very interesting question, or I guess kind of like a statement, but I think I get where she's coming from. So, someone has brought to my attention that as twin flame divine feminines, we have this deep desire to make certain that our person is growing alongside us. And it was kind of presented as how does she ensuring equanimity and shared knowledge as a way to ensure personal growth is in alignment. So, okay, I think that the simpler way to put this is I want my person to watch every single thing I watch, hear every single thing I read, or see. You get what I'm saying, right? I want, if I've seen it, they need to see it. If I've read it, they need to read it. If I've heard it, they need to hear it because each of these things is having this profound impact on me. It's so synchronous, like what's going on. I need to make sure that as I'm going boom, 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 getting all these downloads and integrating all this new stuff, that they are going to be moving with me. Because many divine feminines, if you know our ministry, you know we believe in what's called the first awakened. We know that not every first awakened is the divine feminine, but I think that at least 90% of the globe worldwide, it is going to be the feminine energy that awakens first, which just kind of makes sense. Like, even when we're talking about the intuitive side of things, right? And I think that if there are divine masculines who awaken first, um, they may end up thinking they're divine feminines because if they find readings, it's like, that makes sense to my situation. I must be the divine feminine. It's like, well, no, maybe not. And so if you're the divine feminine, let's just be real. Because you are the vessel, the conduit, you already probably have a higher level of intuition, of divine understanding. If you've been on your journey before this twin flame journey started, you're probably already very much advanced, right? And if your twin flame journey even kind of activated a new journey, which is I think what happens for people who have been spiritual and haven't been, right? It's like a new path. It's a higher path, higher calling of ascension. Like, if that happens to you, I totally get the fear when you turn and you look back at your person and you're like, you don't even know how to say Mercury in retrograde. You say Mercury is in Gatorade. I don't know if I can I trust that you're going to move at the speed that I'm moving? Can I trust that now that I've been activated and I'm going even faster, that it's not going to create a greater chasm between us, that this isn't just going to put even more distance between us spiritually? And I totally get that. I actually think that it's the reason why Mr. Lightwork and I had a unique experience. I don't think a lot of twins get this. It does happen. We're not the only ones, but where I immediately took twin flames to him. Like, immediately took it to him. I didn't, I know that's not always possible, but Mr. Lightwork being an Aquarius, with Cancer rising, there's just something about him where I think I was able to say, like, hey, what do you think about this? And he was open to it. And he's like, yep, I could totally see that was us. And so Mr. Lightwork and I have known about twin flames the exact same amount of time. Maybe me as like a day or two. um, and so with us having that experience, I could see where my divine masculine and I were, at least on the twin flame journey part, maybe going at a similar pace, but also not. Because even with him and I discovering it at the same time, truth be told, I don't think there's ever been a point where I've looked at his growth and thought, oh yeah, like he's on my level. And I don't mean that in a like a negative way, like get on my level. No, like more like, if we both sat down to take an assessment, a spiritual assessment of our spiritual knowledge and skill and all that, I think that he might actually even have more knowledge than he thinks, but he has way worse imposter syndrome because he's still not confident in it. So I think he would get even lower scores from overthinking and changing his answers. That's what I mean when I say not on my level, like a standardization level. So if you're looking at your divine masculine going, yeah, that's it. See, it's not that he's so far behind me. In fact, he might not even be that far, but his level of interest is much lower than I would want it to be. Okay. Shouldn't it be where I'm at? I'm excited. Who wouldn't want to know and learn all the things that I'm knowing and learning, right? Huh? So I totally get this question because there were points in the beginning where I wanted Mr. Lightwork to watch everything that I watched. And there are even, I think now, like I have this feeling where I'll be listening to something and I can't even really fully listen just for myself because things might trigger something about Mr. Lightwork and I, or even just like about him as a masculine or man or whatever. And I think, oh man, he should hear this. But maybe I'm in the middle of like a 1 hour sermon or a 30-minute teaching or a 2 hour podcast. And it's like, is he going to care enough about the entirety of this thing that I'm watching? And when it gets to this point that I just got all excited and said, oh, he has to hear this, is he even going to notice what they just said? Or will he be in like la la land because he's bored out of his mind because this is not his thing? And so this is kind of my point about sharing this answer. We have to let this go. And you see, I say we. We have to let this go, sisters. Okay. Brothers, you too, because I know some of y'all listening. Our journey is not their journey. And that was the most incredible thing that was revealed to me this year. I always thought that we were on the same journey or that we had like the same path to the same mountain peak, but that's not how it works. And I'm still upset about it, to be to be honest with you. I'm still a little pissed off. So if our journey is not their journey, if we were not created to be twins, because it'd be really cool. Like, I'm not trying to negate twin flames as we know it, but like, what would be really cool is if all of us who were twin flames actually just had like a real twin. I know some of you are probably twins, but if we actually just had a real twin and we were raised together, and so we had all the same things, we finished each other's sentences and like all that kind of stuff, because then there would literally be two of us. You ever been like, man, if there were two of me, I could do so much more. It'd just be like, oh, cool, there's two of us. And that'd be a pretty cool way to ensure that if that was the twin flame journey, that the twin flame journey led to some sort of success and achievement in a mission, right? Because now there's two people, you've got a backup, you've got a contingency plan or whatever. But that's not how our journeys were designed. And the word twin can bring us to that visual, right? Of like same person, matching outfits, standing next to each other. They're exactly the same. And it's like, that's not what the twin flame journey means. The twin flame journey is talking about, sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. The flame. It's talking about the fact that we come from one soul. Again, according to our ministry, some others believe that as well, but with different, variances and all that. And so if you think about it, if I were to take, I mean, this is kind of ironic, but these little fake flames, see how they're different? Literally, like, can you see it? This one's dying, that's why. This one typically gets dimmer than this one, but both of them are creating that light for you right now, which I probably shouldn't have given that away and broke the fourth wall, but you get it, right? But if you think about fire, like if I were to go to a bonfire and grab a stick and light my stick on fire, and now there's the big bonfire and then there's my fire on my stick, to me that's twin flame, because the flame is the same, it came from the same. But if you look at it, you're gonna be like, no, that's the fire on the stick and that's the bonfire. It's totally different. So there's something about our understanding of what a twin is that I think can make this concept a little bit confusing. Just like hearing the word separation, reconciliation, these are terms typically associated with marriage and divorce. And so we have a very specific image of what that means, but it's never what we think. And so just realize that your person's journey and your journey are so different that you could watch the same show. You could watch a 1 hour podcast about something that was really important to you and realize that you both had completely different perspectives, and then rewatch it after sharing the other person's perspectives and still not be on the same page, because that's not how I don't think any of us were designed that way, but I really don't think that's how our journey was designed. I don't think that's what we were meant to be, is just same all the time. And so what I promised you is this: they're not going to fall behind because they haven't been watching what you've been watching. And if you had made them watch what you'd watched, you may have actually made them fall behind. Why? Because they were supposed to be watching their thing. They were supposed to be connecting with the thing that was going to make them have the aha moment, not you, them. So don't feel bad. You aren't missing anything. You aren't messing anything up by not sending them every single thing. They're not missing anything by going their own way. Divine has it covered. And if you can trust that you are divine feminine, you have a divine masculine, and you will be together this lifetime, you won't worry about whether or not you should have sent the thing or you didn't send the thing. All right, my friend. I love you. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.